Hi. I just want to talk about how much fun I've been having this year ever since I started saying yes to what's right for me and no to what doesn't work for me anymore. It's really simple. I think I'm a really bad codependent, but I'll stay in a really bad situation for years before I realize what's going on. Um, and like for instance, I was living in a house. I lived there for like 5 years, and it just was not a good situation for me at all. My roommates were really cool. They were like really funny, but this is a topic for another video, but I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict, and I haven't had any drugs or alcohol in about 8.5 years. But at the house that I was living in, everybody liked to drink a lot. Like I'd go in the kitchen and there would be like an open bottle of Jim Beam just like on the counter, like you could smell it as you walk by. And one of my roommates, who I really liked a lot, but he wasn't comfortable unless everyone was drinking like all the time. And so a lot of times I started to feel like not a part of, and I wanted to be a part of, and I couldn't do that by drinking, but I kept trying to like fit in and make it work, you know? But it just wasn't a situation I could make work. I needed to get out of there. Another situation I really needed to get out of was my job. I was just miserable at my job. I worked at a family law firm for about 7 years, and my boss was a really good person. I still have a lot of respect for him to this day, but and a lot of the people I worked with were really cool people. But it was family law and criminal, and some of these matters, like some of our clients were committing suicide, a lot of allegations of abuse against, parents, really grisly stuff. Sometimes there was, like, I would see photos of people that had gotten killed, like I would see the photos, and I'm a really sensitive person. I find that really hard. And I was at this job, and I was a little bit of a scapegoat at this job too, because I was at the bottom of the totem pole. I had the job with the least amount of status. So I was there for like 7 years. I knew I would be much happier somewhere else. I was like waiting to like, when do I leave? When do I leave? What do I do? And I just got one dirty look too many, and I put in my notice on the spot. I was like, I cannot subject myself to an abusive situation. It's just not worth it. I'm a free human being, thank God. I live in America. I have options. Why don't I use them? And I put in my notice, and because I worked there so long, I had a good amount of retirement saved up, so I was able to do that. What I did, and this sounds crazy, but I ended up living in my car. And I honestly had so much fun doing this, like, it's ridiculous. I couldn't do it for more than 3 months, but it was like a little adventure. Like, I would be driving around neighborhoods at night listening to the radio, and I would find a safe little pocket and I'd park there, and then I'd like put up my blinders and sleep there for the night. I did get caught once. I was like drifting off, and I heard a knocking on the window so loud, like bang, bang, bang. And I didn't know who it was. I was really scared. I didn't know if they had a gun. I didn't know if it was a dangerous person or a cop. So I tried to like just be quiet. I didn't do anything about it. And they kept banging. And so finally I like opened the window and I was like, is there a problem? And I guess that it was a neighbor, and they thought that I was like a teenager doing drugs in their neighborhood, and they were freaking out. But when they saw me and that I was frightened and like sleeping in my car, they had compassion on me, and they even offered to have me stay in their house. Like when I explained my situation, they were like, oh my gosh, how did you get into this situation? Can we help you? And I was like, no, I just want to sleep in my car. But that ended up working out for 3 months. But I started getting heat stroke, because this went into like July, and I'd wake up and the sun would be beaming on me from the windows, and I'd have headaches like all day, and it wasn't healthy. And I wasn't able to like cook healthy foods. I was eating a lot of takeout, drinking a lot of juice, just not balanced. And so I kind of had this card I could play, and that was, I have a friend that had kind of said I could stay with them if I was ever in this situation. And so I did. I ended up staying with him for about a month, and thank God, because it was like such a relief going from living in your car and like showering at the gym and brushing your teeth at the park. And you know, sometimes people like look down on you when they know what you're doing, like, and that was a situation that was going on at work, because there was overlap where I was sleeping in my car and I'd go into my work and I'd get dressed in the bathrooms, and I think someone at my work caught on to what I was doing and they started kind of treating me like less than, because I think they knew I was like living in my car, and they thought, oh, she's like trash, you know, and that's why I had to leave. But and other people, I kind of got that from other people, like they look at me really weird when they saw me brushing my teeth at the park. It's kind of sad because it goes to show like how homeless people might be treated on a very small level. I mean, I experienced it on such a small scale, but it goes to show how much stigma they must have. But that's another topic for another story. But despite all that crap, like, I had the time of my life. But then I got to move in with my friend, and then, but then that stopped working out. I think he was kind of like set in his own ways, and he didn't want me staying there for much longer than a month. I could tell. He would watch TV at the loudest possible decimal volume, between like midnight and 1:30 every single night, and I'd be dead asleep, and then suddenly I'd like wake up and I couldn't go back to sleep even with headphones in my ears. And then the next day he'd get up really early, and I was like, oh, like all my sleep cycles were interrupted, and I felt tired all day, and we just weren't getting along at the end of it. So I called my parents and asked them to let me stay with them, which was something I was never gonna do again in my life. But I was like, you know, I'm done living in my car. I'm gonna get heat stroke if I do that. It's like survival, not pride. So I ended up staying with my parents for about a month, and in one of my stepsister's old rooms. And it's crazy because I think that their house is haunted. But that's another story. And then a month after that, I got this apartment, this studio, which I love. It's like really deconstructed right now. I don't know if you could see. Can you pan around to like show some of the boxes, like, and everything that's like and there's just like piles everywhere. I know it looks really crappy. It's not at all like other YouTubers where their apartment is like perfectly furnished and there's a candle in the background. It doesn't look like that right now. But anyways, I've been having so much fun just like having those hard conversations, like stuff I'm putting off, like I quit or I need to move, because that happened when I moved out of the old house. Like my roommate said something I didn't like, and I was like, okay, and then I said, I'm moving in like 30 days, sorry. And he was really cool about it, and we're on good terms, but it just, sometimes for me, like, it takes me just getting really, really angry before I can, like, get the F out. Another really good litmus test to help me find what I want in life is envy. Like, when I see other people have what I want, it kind of inspires me to go for it myself. Like, oh, that girl is, like, so quirky, you know, like, she likes some of the same movies I liked. I didn't know you could do that. I thought you're supposed to be, like, basic and normal and like what everyone else likes, and like that girl likes what I like, and I'm kind of jealous, you know. That means like she's living on purpose, and that's what I want to do for myself. So I'm taking steps towards that, and it's like these steps have been really big this year. My next step is actually moving to Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be doing that in 2 months, actually right outside Austin. Because the cost of living out there is so much lower than it is out here. Right now I'm in San Jose, California, and rent is just skyrocketing. It's insane. And the population is also ballooning really fast. And I just kind of like, my mental health is taking a toll because everyone's so stressed out and wanting to get to that next level of achievement. And everyone's in each other's way, and you see car accidents everywhere, and it's just like, I want to be where the culture is really exciting. Like Austin has really good music, and it's kind of culturally diverse, but it's a little bit more low-key than it is here. And I'm going to live in an even smaller town right outside Austin, which is like a retirement community, and it costs like $400 a month to rent out a studio just like this one. So that's my next step, and I can't wait to see what happens. I would love to like vlog the music festivals I go to. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I just kind of wanted to open up to you about like freedom, because it's so important to me. And I thought like that was like some kind of a character defect. Like I was being, like if I have a hard time with what is, I should just adjust and like it, and then I'll be a zen enough person. And for me, it's like sometimes I need to get out of a bad situation to move towards the good one. So I hope that that leaves someone with something positive. And more will be revealed. So thank you and goodbye.